So in this example, we're going to look at Angular. So our first use of Angular. It's similar to HTML, so we can put all our HTML that we've learned, and we can put all our CSS into it, but there's a lot more files to it. But don't be afraid of the files. We'll go through with the main ones you need to modify, and then kind of get you more comfortable as we go through. So this course, we do the HTML first, then we do the CSS, and then we do the Angular, and then we go back to the HTML, CSS, Angular, and we kind of loop through those continuously. So the power of Angular is repeating data. So what I mean by that is like you look at apps like Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, all those social apps, plus even the mail app, and a lot of other applications, they have like lists of things. And it's the same thing over and over again, except for it has a different title and a different location. So if you're looking at the email app, basically it has like a title of like a subject, the day it was delivered, and then, well, basically who it's from, the title, day it was delivered, and a brief little summary. So you have these all the way down your email, repeat it over and over again. And we'll take a look at that by creating one, and then we'll create a bunch. So to create an Angular app, let's go into our terminal, change directory into our web folder, change directory into week 3, and then we're going to use the Angular command. So you have to install Angular from before. So you might have to do the sudo npm install -g, I think Angular CLI. I'll have a link in the below. But once you have the Angular command line installed, you can do an ng new, and we'll call it email clone. And I'll press return. Now it's going to ask some questions. For right now, we're not going to use Angular routing. We'll do that at the end of the semester. And then style sheets, we could do other kinds like Sass and less. We're just going to use plain old CSS, the same kind of CSS that we've been learning. And then it's going to install some packages. All right, now if we ls, we'll see that email clone. So I'm going to cd into my email clone. If I do an ls, I'll see a bunch of stuff. And right here, this is the place where I want to do a code dot. So we're going to open a Visual Studio Code to this folder. Now you might take note, we're not going to use our Go Live server on this because Angular has its own server that it builds the stuff. So I'm going to do a control tilde. I'm going to type ng space serve. So all these Angular commands start with ng. So ng new creates a new project with the name that you have after the word new. Ng serve is going to serve up the data. All right. And it's built in the browser. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to follow that link. And you'll notice right away, there's a bunch of stuff. So if you want to learn more about Angular, you can learn through these documents. We're going to cover a bunch of stuff, but feel free to kind of look at this stuff and explore more on your own. There's PWA support, a bunch of things you can learn about. But this is actually, every time you build a project, you get this for free, and we're going to go ahead and get rid of that. So we're going to go under source, and I'm going to shrink this down just a little bit. We're going to go under app. And then you'll notice that we have the common 4. Well, actually we have 5 here, but there's usually 4. So this module is not a very common one. So the hashtag, that's our CSS. They don't have any CSS in this one. The brackets, so the component HTML, that's all the HTML. So this is where all this page is made. So if I do a command A and delete, and if I just say hello and save that, you'll notice that our page now says hello. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and hold down and choose the right side. Put this on the left. I'm going to shrink this down a little bit. Okay, so generally we do want to put it in tags. So we're going to just do H1, press return. And then we'll say email clone. And as soon as we press save, it saves it over there. So it's the same as a live server, except for it's building it based off of Angular. So we'll really take a look at what makes Angular powerful. So what we want to do is we want to create another component. So when we're building these Angular apps, we want to think of like building like Legos. We want to build the basic block, and then we can use that block over and over again to kind of build up the structure that we want. So we're going to build the basic email. I'm trying to think of what we want to call it. We'll call it an email summary. So I'm going to go down here. I'm going to keep my server running. I'm going to press plus to add another shell. And I'm going to do a ng, then G for generate, space, C for component, space, and I'm going to do a email summary. So you notice I have a camel case here, but when we press return, they're automatically going to do like a dash case. So you see this right here, email dash summary. So it just created this for us. And you notice when you open that up, it has those 4 elements. So you have the hashtag for the CSS, the brackets for the HTML, and then this TypeScript, when we get to it, it's going to be more of the JavaScript type stuff. But it's going to be TypeScript, which is it's a variant of JavaScript, but it's more specific. So it's similar to Swift than actual JavaScript. All right, but you'll see it says email summary worked. And one key thing on this blue TypeScript right here, this blue TS, it'll have a selector. So notice app-email-summary. So that's how we put this component in the page. So if we go back to our app component, so the .html, and do an app-email-summary, and press return. And if we save that, it says email summary worked. And this is one of those components we can copy, and we'll paste it 3 more times. When you save it, we got 3 of them. So it's really easy to reuse components over and over again. We just call the tag that was auto-generated for us, and now we can reuse that summary over and over again.